What is up, everybody? It's Dirty and wrong
DZAN.
camera.
What is going on,
camera, guys?
What's going on, everybody? It is episode 33. Today is Wednesday, January 26th, but for you, Friday, January 28th. You get the dynamic duo this week. We are back, baby. Not too much to talk about. I know a lot of shit has happened, but a lot of that's in the past. So we're gonna, talk about a little here and there. We'll kind of brush over football because, to be honest, we're over it. We're ready for next season.
Hey, I got to say something.
Yeah, please. I've been waiting weeks for you to say something, Dirty.
I made a comment in one of my videos last week, and I heard about it, and I fucked up. I got this for Christmas. Okay? Very, very fucking cool.
Dope.
Right? It was not for my daughter. I said it was for my daughter. It was actually from my youngest son.
Oh, I bet he let you know, excuse me. Excuse me.
Hey, you know what? I want to give him a shout out. He just started his own channel, gaming channel. Umbrar, UMBRAR. And by the way, when you go there and you check out the intro beats, yours truly. That's right. All right.
There you go.
Check him out though. Check out Umbrar over there. Umbrar Gaming.
That's what's
anyway.
Up.
So yeah, it's been a while, guys, and I'm very sorry. I've been a little ill, little under the weather here, and so we're back at it, and
we're back at it, baby.
Very happy to be here. Very, very.
If you guys love the content we do on this channel, hit us with the
smash that bitch.
Subscribe if you are new. I will smash that bitch. Yes,
that's
gonna be our new thing. If you guys love the channel, smash that bitch. And comment down below with your takes on the topics we talk about today.
There we go.
Okay. I'd be remiss if we didn't at least, quickly talk about the NFL, or some people like to call the National Football League.
I nobody pays attention to that league. So
yeah,
I don't see the point.
Yeah, the new football league's coming up real soon.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that
on
more.
Fox.
Yeah.
We'll cover that. No, but there was a lot of surprising shit. Obviously, the Cowboys made it in.
We're joking because the Steelers and the Cowboys are out.
And we got out.
That's what the joke was.
Due to some bullshit. But anyways, we had some pretty crazy games this weekend.
Same
controversy.
Same here. We had a bad call in the Steelers game, and that's why they're not in it. So,
oh, for sure, yeah. A couple, about 12 bad calls.
Yeah, it was 12 bad calls. Yeah.
So. A lot of controversy over, wanting to change the playoff rules when it comes to, overtime and stuff like that, about, giving both teams, proper chance. I don't know. Where do you side on this, Dirty?
I hate this stuff, man. We're always oversteering, constantly oversteering, man, trying to correct it. And that's why we're in the shape we're in this country. Okay. We keep oversteering everything, man. You got to find that center in you, and that's where you need to be. Listen, if the Bills stopped the Chiefs and go down and score, we're not having this conversation.
Right.
That's simple. So I don't like the idea of constantly changing rules because of a particular situation that happened.
The Chiefs 2 years ago. The Chiefs 2 years ago wanted to change the rules and hey, we think
the same thing happened.
Should get a chance.
Right.
And they were given a, and now they're just like, okay.
We're dealing with the rules that you set. Right. Yeah.
That's the way you want to do it. But I mean, honestly, I don't see a problem in the rule, to be honest. I mean, if the other team really wanted a fair chance, they wouldn't have made it go to overtime in the first place. You had plenty of opportunities throughout 4 quarters to make it not a tie. So that's all on you. That's on your offensive coordinator, your special teams, your defensive. That's up to your team. That has nothing to do with giving them an equal chance in overtime. You put yourself in that position. So that's where I sit on it. Right.
You had 4 quarters to stop them, and you didn't. And this is what the consequences that you're going to face. End of story. It's really that simple. Again, if that didn't happen, we're not having this conversation. So why are we having this conversation? Right.
Right.
And that's how I view it. So
no, 100%. So fuck it. Let's not have the conversation. we have the Bengals and the Chiefs facing off on Sunday. Both teams on Sunday. They'll face off first in the morning game / early afternoon game, depending on where you're at, whether you're here or in Dirty's neck of the woods. And then after that in the afternoon, we get the 49ers versus the Chargers. And this will kind of clean everything up for the NFL season and see who is going to get to watch the best halftime show of all time with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem.
I literally had 2 people reach out to me last week on Twitter asking me if I knew it. First of all, I've talked about this so many times.
Yeah.
I've known about this for months. at least a couple months. When it was announced, we talked about it here, and then I've talked about it on many of my videos.
Yeah.
So I was stunned. And one of them was very surprising. I think Daniel.
What?
Yeah, I think
usually watches the videos that should know. Yeah, right.
You would think. I could be mistaken, Daniel, if it wasn't you. But anyway,
very excited for that.
Very cool,
I mean, still looking forward to the Super Bowl for that literal one reason. I cannot wait for the halftime show. That's all I had for football, Dirty. Are you ready to fucking move on? You ready? All right. Listen, people, UFC is back this year. We had a long drought. It finally came back with Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. What a fucking fight, by the way. Just talk about that real quick. Calvin Kattar came into that fight wanting to make a statement because of his terrible loss to Holloway the year before. And boy, did he make that statement. He brought Giga to a place Giga's never been. I honestly thought Giga was going to win that fight handedly. Very surprised. All respect to Calvin Kattar.
Those Boston boys, man, they are tough. That was an amazing bout.
Right.
I as a side note, I got to tell you something that happened to me. I don't know why I was this naive. So I'm on ESPN Plus the other night, and on my feed, obviously, because in ESPN Plus you can put your favorite teams, your favorite fighters, or whatever, and so I have that all filled out and stuff, so my feeds are correct. And so I saw the feed for UFC 272. Is that where we're at?
We're on 270. We just watched 270.
270. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it was, and I literally clicked on it like an idiot, thinking I was going to get to watch it. I'm like, oh my God, they got it loaded. And then I click on it. It says, pay-per-view, dumbass.
Literal pay-per-view, dumbass.
Yeah. It should just.
Oh, I love it.
If you're that stupid, a fist should come out of your television, punch you right in the face.
Before we move on to UFC 270 and wrap that up, I want to talk about probably the biggest breaking UFC news over the past 2 weeks. Leon Edwards is finally getting a title shot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally happening.
You can stop chasing Dana.
Dana White confirmed it. Did you see that video that he posted?
I've been watching them all. I don't know if you saw the one today.
Dude, they've been so good. Yeah, the one today.
The one with
Dana White running. Oh, the Connor. Yeah, and he put him to bed. Yes. Guys, if you got to start watching that channel, you gotta follow them too.
Yeah.
So
that's how you pronounce it.
Mojahid know what we're talking about. Yeah. That was good, Dirty. Yeah, that was really good.
I've been working.
Yeah. Practicing in the mirror with the brush.
Exactly.
Leon's finally getting a title shot. We don't know when, but Dana White did confirm that he will be getting that title shot. No, but the really the biggest
finally, seriously, it is about time.
Seriously though, the biggest breaking news really is that Amanda Nunez is actually leaving American Top Team, which big blow to American Top Team. Jorge Masvidal was talking about, what a big loss.
So disappointed in her.
Me too. I'm nervous, very disappointed. She's going to create her own gym. I mean, always wish people well in their new endeavors, but
absolutely, if this is all about business, then I get that. I get that, but it just feels a little goofy coming off of a loss that nobody ever thought was coming. And I see a lot of history revision talk on ESPN about about that fight, their predictions and stuff. I remember watching ESPN. So anyway, but I mean, it's a little, and it's not a little, it's kind of fucked up looking to me. The optics just coming off of a loss. Now you're leaving your gym.
It makes me nervous because your career's on the line right now at this point.
Your whole career has been spent in this gym. It's literally a half an hour from here.
Yeah. If it was like Khabib, where after he retired, then he set up his own gym and he did his own thing. That's totally fine, because you're repositioning yourself in the industry in this part.
And that's why I'm talking about the optics. The optics look terrible to me.
Unless she's trying to maybe have, her last fight, her retirement fight soon, and maybe she's prepping for this. I don't know.
Why would you start another gym to do that?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
You're right. I
don't know, man. I was floored when I heard that. And
me too.
And what's her name? She's jumped all over it, pointing it out.
Which one? Misha?
No. The girl she beat.
I just thought of the girl that would just talk shit. Juliana Pena, the champion.
Yeah.
Put some respect on her name.
Right. Her name. But Well, we'll just move on, man.
Let's move on. All
She's left the building, and that's it.
All right, let's wrap up UFC 270. We had fucking 4 or 5 fights fall through. Listen, guys, I want to first say a little bit personal here. Dirty, I'm 30 now. I turned 30 this past week on January 20th.
Dirty wishes he was 30.
And
happy birthday,
this was supposed to be, thank you. This was supposed to be my birthday fight card. And I'm just gonna say it. I got sick with the big sea bug, ladies and gentlemen, for my birthday. So all my plans went kaput. I couldn't celebrate with any of my family or friends because I was sick.
He was texting me.
I was texting Dirty. But here on Saturday, we lose the Greg Hardy fight. We lost.
That one was the one that kind of bugged me the most, I think.
Tapora, though, too. We lost some really good fights, and it bummed me the fuck out. But I tell you what, we still had a really great night. We still had a really great night of fights. And so let's talk about it. First things first, we're not really going to go over Michael Morales and the Trevin Giles fight, but Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Cody Stamen.
I didn't see the fight. I saw the highlights, but I didn't see the fight.
Wow. Saeed, holy shit. It only took this man 47 seconds to wrap up the nastiest rear naked choke.
It was nasty.
Nasty. So beautiful. Or
that was one of those rear naked chokes that gives you the grim face.
Guillotine. I think it was a guillotine. Standing guillotine. The way he cradled him. Oh my God. And then brought him to the ground.
Dude, what are you doing to that other human being, dirty. Man?
Yeah, it was so quick, man. So quick. The guy didn't even go to defend. He immediately put his hand up ready. Like, oh, this is happening.
We've talked about this though.
Yeah.
There's
levels. Exactly. And he totally look, Cody Stamen took it as an opportunity to change levels and lift him. But as soon as he actually got around him, his neck was already done. Yeah. And he immediately went into oh shit mode. And that was it. I mean, that's all it took. And what a great showing for Saeed Nurmagomedov. Great fight. Michel Pereira versus Andre Filio or Filio? The other guy.
Yeah, the other guy.
Michel has been doing a really great job at staying a little bit more restrained. and not doing so much.
Oh
crazy shit.
yeah.
He's done a lot better job. He still
man.
does it, right? But it's not.
Well,
it's not
you
nearly as
want
much.
that a little. I mean,
right.
He's doing it. You want a certain amount of unhinged. You know,
right.
Let me tell you a story. DZAN is going to watch his first hockey game tonight. He's going to watch the Red Wings game with me. Yeah, we're stoked. It's going to be great. And the Red Wings are playing. And they have a guy on their team. His name is Tyler Bertuzzi. Tyler Bertuzzi just has this look in his eyes that he just looks like he could come unhinged at any moment, right? And that creates a tremendous amount of space for him when he's on the ice, right?
Yeah.
People tend to avoid him a little, right?
Yep.
When you have that, you've kind of beat somebody mentally. When you enter the octagon, if you have a look about you that kind of looks like, you know, you're just not quite right.
Yeah.
You're a little off. And you do things in the octagon that give that appearance even. It can bode well. It can really mind fuck your opponent.
Exactly. Mental warfare and that shit.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw the master class of mental warfare when it came to Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo.
Yep.
That was a master class.
Yep.
And Jose Aldo, if you listen to the fight, you go back and you listen, Joe Rogan states right as the fight is beginning, Jose Aldo looks like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Those are Joe Rogan's words. Yep. You could see it in his eyes.
Yep.
And you look over at Conor and he's bouncing around and he's like, come on, boy, you know, and he looks like he's kind of unhinged. It was over. It was over before they rang the bell.
Yep. Yeah.
And, you know, and I bring that up because people like Michelle Pajeda, they have a bit of a reputation of doing things a little unhinged, you know, and that's what makes him so violent.
Yeah, yeah.
And what a great showing, man.
Yeah, great showing for the Coco. Listen, these guys, these three fights, you know, they really stepped up, you know, some of them moving up to the main card. They did a great job and a great showing. Did miss those other fights, but nevertheless, it was still a good card. Now we've got to talk about the two title fights. Dirty, I'm going to tell you how I feel first.
Before we get into this, can you hang on 1 second, please?
Yeah, please.
Thanks.
You do that right before you hit record again. All right. Anyways, I was going to try and pick up like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dirty, let me tell you what I think about this fight first. Okay. That was what I said right before you hit pause, by the way. I remember that right off the dome.
He's flexing on me. I have no memory.
Yeah, I'm being a dick. Yeah.
He's being a dick.
Okay. Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno.
Oh my God.
Wow. If there were another two men that were destined to fight, I don't want to meet them. These two guys were just destined to fight over and over, and I am so ready for the fourth installment. I don't know if I fully agree that Brandon Moreno lost that fight. I'm going to definitely watch it again sober, okay? Because I was
usually hopeful.
I was drunk and I had a lot of heart for my Mexican brother.
I figured that's where this was coming from.
The biggest,
but I could not disagree more.
Okay,
just leave it that. That's all I'm going to say.
Totally fine. That's totally fine. Because I don't even have a leg to stand on.
And I love Brandon Moreno too. By the way,
me too. Yeah. And you know what? If Davison Figueiredo really won that fight fair and square, which the judges say he did, then that only gives more credence to a fourth fight. First one was a draw. Second one was won easily. Third one was won by the other guy. Come on, there has to be a fourth fight here.
100% that has to happen. Yeah,
it looks like the biggest point of contention is in round 4 and round 5, where two judges gave the fourth round to Brandon, and 2 judges gave the 5th round to Davidson. The same judge that gave Brandon the 4th round gave him a 9 in the 5th, which caused him to lose. If he would have gotten that one, he would have won by split decision.
Let me say this. Let me say that because I think this does bear repeat or mentioning that the fact that the judges, I don't like that. I don't like the 9, but at the same time, to me, watching the fight is what I'm saying. Watching the fight, I felt as though Davis and Figueiredo definitely won that fight.
Right.
That's what I'm going to say. As far as the rounds and all of that stuff, listen,
that's probably like really diving in, right?
It really is. And how many fights have we seen that you can't leave it in the judge's hands?
I don't think the judges got it completely wrong, though, because as the fight, I knew.
But that's what I'm saying. That
on my drunken stupor, okay?
Yeah.
I had a feeling this fight might be getting away from Brandon, or this fight, I don't know who's going to win this fight anymore as it continued.
Right.
And
right.
that actually showed on the judges' scorecard. All 3 judges agreed on the 1st round, on the 2nd round, and the 3rd round.
Yeah.
They agreed across the board with the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, but none of them agreed on the 4th and 5th.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you're good.
I was just going to say, kind of lends a little bit of credence to the fact that it's not any kind of conspiracy or anything.
Right.
Right. You can see it in their scoring. There was nothing going on there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know I agree that the scoring was weird. It didn't line up with the fight to me.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Davis and Figueiredo won the fight.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was, like this runaway win, obviously. But at the same time, I felt as though he was a clear winner.
Okay.
That's just how I felt.
Man,
again, the scoring I know was a little goofy.
And I don't think it's out of the realm to say that these 2 men have finally brought back life to the 125-pound division. Holy shit. How many
in a way
more
that
people
Henry
were
Cejudo
cheering?
Could never inject.
Never. How many people were cheering for Brandon versus Ngannou? How many people were cheering negatively to Davidson rather than the controversy between Cyril and Ngannou? It was incredible. You have the 2 of the heaviest hitters in the entire fucking company about to face off, and everybody is Viva la Mexico, or death to Brandon, in Portuguese.
Right.
It's fucking crazy, man. It was fucking crazy. And all respect to these 2 guys for bringing back a fantastic fucking division. And I can't wait for the 4th fight. I'm so fucking excited. So it was a really good fight, really good card. I think now we can move on to the main fight. Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. And how about look, there's a lot of talk about here.
I got to ask you, did you see the still shot of him picking up Cyril Gane?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
How amazing. Yeah, I did a little video too for social media. Oh my, the way he fucking slammed his body down, it shook the arena. Man, what a fucking fight. And it was all down to his wrestling
photo of him holding him like that. That was just amazing, man.
Almost as amazing as the Photoshop photo of Francis Ngannou in Joe Rogan's arms. I don't know if you saw that one.
And then well, we do have to talk about Dana, man. What?
Hold on. Don't. Okay. Not yet. We will get there. Let's just talk about the fight real quick, and then we'll get there because I do have that.
Some tape on my mouth.
Let's just talk about the fight real quick. Okay. Francis Ngannou came into this fight with a blown out ACL, torn meniscus, the whole
we didn't
9
know
yards.
that. Nobody knew that.
Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that.
Like,
Nobody knew
I don't
that.
even think his managers or anything knew. So
yeah, I think only his coaching staff knew what was going on, and that's it. If Cyril gone, or I'm sorry, with both knees wrapped up and everything, and you could tell. I mean, the first 2 rounds, he was getting pieced up. He was scared to be on that knee.
Yeah.
And man, once Cyril gave him an opportunity, Francis took the fight to the ground and won by domination. I will say though, if Francis was not the better wrestler, he lost that handedly, dirty. But then again, you could say, well, if his knees weren't fucked up, maybe the striking would have been a bit more competitive. But I think we all knew.
Hang on a second. That's a really fair thing though, because I have a really bad, I have bad knees, period. But I have a really bad right knee. I'm barely holding on right now.
Right.
I can't push off my knee. That's where your power comes from. And that's my right knee. And I'm right-handed. So I'm not going to get up as much as I'd like to get into that.
Right.
You know, so
and
that's
he's facing the fastest
thing.
Heavyweight. He's facing the fastest heavyweight in the division. You know, it was tough. He definitely pulled it out though, like a true champion does. And he fucking weathered the storm. And now I think, you know, we can talk about the controversy going into this fight and what made this win that much better.
Can't for the life of me. I've literally thought about this. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out Dana's angle here. I mean,
either.
There's no winning for Dana in this situation. And he keeps doubling down.
Yeah. I am almost like I'm waiting for Dana to fucking leave this company right now. I don't know
what the fuck is happening, man. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You just took $7 million from the guy's checking. He's free now, but I mean, you just destroyed this man in every way possible, financially, respectfully. Just everything was attacked. And it doesn't make any sense. Why? Because Dana is that small-minded that he can't allow somebody to be a free thinker. Nobody's allowed to say anything that you don't like or that
open the door for a conversation for change.
Something, anything. There's nothing
to be heard. Yeah.
To be heard. Right.
To be heard.
Who wants
that's
who
all they want. They
be
just
fucking heard.
They just want to fucking be heard. These fighters, they're putting their fucking lives on the line for your business gain. It makes sense to do the bare minimum here. Let's break down the timetable, Dirty D. About 15 minutes before Francis Ngannou walked out, his team gets an email that the UFC is planning on suing him for talking to Jake Paul's manager. Not a fucking promoter, not somebody who is building a fight for Ngannou, a conversation with Francis. Now, because this man also happened to be a former employee for Dana White and is now working with Jake Paul, that's all they need. They plan to sue him and sent his team an email
with his small-mindedness.
15 minutes before walking out, trying to throw him off his game. And then when he wins the fight, for the first time since Anderson Silva and I think it was Forrest Griffin, the first time since that fight, Dana White doesn't wrap the belt around the champion. He has Mick Maynard do it. And for the first time since that fight,
I don't even think he was in the octagon.
He wasn't there. He left.
Yeah.
He left for the fight. Yeah. And then he didn't show up to the post-fight press conference. Right. What in the living fuck? It's a pay-per-view. It's the first pay-per-view.
I know. That's what I'm saying. None of this makes any sense, man. Yeah. It's so small-minded with a guy that you would think would be able to think bigger.
Yeah.
You know, with all of his successes and everything, you would think he would be able to think bigger. Maybe we're finding out that the Fertittas were that conduit between.
What a good point.
Right?
Some of the best things that have happened before, like the Mayweather McGregor. You know, why can't we have an Ngannou Fury? What the fuck? This seems like the perfect mixed promotion opportunity.
Every time Connor complained about something, where did he go? He went to Lorenzo Fertitta. He didn't go to Dana White.
Right. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's fucking nuts, dude. It's fucking nuts.
WMG or WME. Yeah, WME.
Yeah.
Whoever the stockholding company is that owns the UFC now, they need to have a sit down with him soon. Yeah, he's making money hand over fist for the company right now. But that has a lot to do with the ESPN deal. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all. Second of all, which Dana White is very integral in that. I get all of that. But dude, I mean, Kamaru is a company guy, right?
Yeah.
He's clearly a company guy.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. John Jones is not a company guy.
Mm-mm. Used to be.
Look how Dana treats Kamaru.
Mm-hmm.
They're both black individuals, right? African Americans. Or I'm sorry, one's an African, one's an African American.
Yeah.
And so it's not a matter of race, right? It's how loyal are you to me?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. And that's why Kamaru is now the greatest of all time and John Jones is not. And and that's why he repeats that over and over. I mean,
he repeats it over and over and over and over and over and over. It's annoying. And yet John Jones, who is arguably, and I'm sorry, but arguably the greatest of all time. And here we never, ever hear Dana White say that.
Right. Yep.
He hasn't said that in 10 years.
Yeah. He hasn't said that in a long time. And so I don't know what's going on with that. For those that might, ask why, or, the few that may wonder if we're going to cover this topic, I'll just brush over this real quick. It came out that Jake Paul had bought shares in Endeavor, looking to change the company from within. I don't put any credence into this because one, they're publicly traded company
anyway.
He would need to own he would need to put 51%. So much money to even have 51%. So guys, don't even put any that's just Jake Paul being Jake Paul. So don't even think about that at all. Move on from that.
Well, I mean, you just do the math. He'd have to own 51%. They bought it for what, $4.5 billion.
Yeah. I mean, I think they even said the number is like 300 million or something like that. Like to own one seat, to own a seat.
To own a seat.
That would to get into the conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But let's say conservatively now it's worth $6 billion. That means you've got to have $3 billion and $100 million to buy to get 51%.
Right.
So
right.
This is a pointless conversation.
It is a very pointless conversation, but it's fun. It's fun for them to talk about. So go and talk about that. Man, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Dana White. I hope we get a couple answers here soon when it comes to that.
Man.
But
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense to me.
Before we move on to our music topic of the week, Dirty, you have something to say?
First of all, we're almost at the halfway point of the NHL season. Trade deadline's coming up here soon. I forget when, but it's probably about a month away or less. But really curious to all my Red Wings people out there, Stevie Yzerman, if he's going to make a move. And originally I thought there's just no way he makes a move, but we're not that far removed right now. And we're playing this entire season so far without Jacob Vrana. He's been out. If we would have had him, you got to think we're in the playoffs 100%, right? So maybe Stevie has that moment of clarity where he says, hey, you know what? Let's take a shot here. The fans have been waiting for a long time. maybe this message will get to Stevie. But nevertheless, no, I trust Stevie. He'll do the right thing. So, but nevertheless, I'm very hopeful that things start circulating a little bit, wouldn't mind seeing them bring in a crafty veteran, kind of fortify the second line a little bit. And yeah, so, but yeah, the trade deadline's coming up here, and then obviously playoff talk is starting now. And then the other thing is Leon Dreissitel. I'm glad I remembered to bring this up. So Leon Dreissitel is one of the best players in the world, and he happens to play on a team with the best player in the world, Connor McDavid. And Leon Dreissitel is, he's only that far behind Connor McDavid. He's a phenomenal hockey player. Mm-hmm. So this week, you're probably not aware of this, but there's a lot going on with Edmonton Oilers. And so basically they have not lived up to expectations. All right. And there's talk about bringing in some people and, to fortify their playoff run and all of that stuff. But at the same time, they're not winning hockey games right now. And so Leon Dreissitel did a press conference. I believe it was last Friday. And there was a reporter that asked him, so Leon, can you tell us why you guys think you're not winning? Something to that effect.
Right.
And he responds back and he said, well, you seem to know everything. Well, you just don't do that with a reporter. You'll never win that. You'll never win that situation. So the reporter chimes back and he says, Leon, why are you so pissy? Yeah. So now they're going back and forth, and it's this whole fucking thing. And now it's just taking on a life of its own.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It was literally a minute-long interaction that has had a lot of traction. And so now there's talk about splitting up Connor McDavid and Leon Dreissitel, and maybe trading Leon or Connor. I can't imagine that. I know the general manager there. It's Ken Holland, and he used to be the general manager for Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
It's just until Stevie took over. That dude, all you have to do, there's an old story there about him. Just knock on his door and he'll give you a no trade clause, right, in your contract. That's all you got to do is knock on his fucking door and you get it, right? This guy will give anything to anybody at any time. He's not really a general manager. He is more of a gifter, right?
Right.
I was never a fan of his. I cannot imagine for the life of me any general manager in the world, even Mark Bergevin, and formerly in Montreal, the hockey people know who he is. But even I can't imagine making that move. Ken Holland making that move? You guys are out of your fucking mind. He'll never make that move, Edmonton. You've got nothing to worry. You've got nothing to worry about. Ken Holland will never make that move. He doesn't have the stones for it.
Damn. Shots fired. Pop, pop, pop. I love seeing how passionate you get about things I don't understand. It makes me happy.
You should understand. It's a great game.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to my first one tonight. They're facing the Warriors, or
Chicago Blackhawks, original Blackhawks. 6 team. So they're called original 6 because the original 6 were Montreal, Boston, Detroit, Chicago, New York Rangers, and Toronto Maple Leafs. So I did 7. It's 6.
I saw you did 7.
And Toronto Maple Leafs is 6. So that's the original 6 teams. So
2 of the original 6.
Detroit's playing Chicago. It's always an extra treat when the original 6 teams play. So
All right.
Anyways,
Well, tomorrow, guys, tomorrow we have the next UFC Vegas installment. Hakeem Dawood versus Mike Trizano. I'm really looking forward to that fucking fight.
Please continue, brother.
And I'm also really looking forward to this Jack Hermanson and Sean Strickland fight. Guys, I'm not a big fan of Sean Strickland. I really, really don't like, I don't know what it is about this guy. I don't know if it's like the way he trains or just kind of the shit he says. He kind of seems like a big douche to me. Please feel free to let me know if you feel any different, but I feel like he's just a big douchebag. And so I don't really like him too much. He likes to injure his fucking training partners. Like he spars, like, I don't know. I also don't think he does things, I mean, who am I to judge, right? I'm not a professional fighter. So, I'm just sitting on the couch watching him. So who am I to judge? So never mind. Fuck what I just said. But I just don't really like him as a fighter. There we go. I can say that though. I can have a fucking opinion. Sean Strickland versus Jack Hermanson. And for those who don't know, Jack Hermanson is actually one of my favorite fighters. Him and Jared Cannonier, I started following along the same time. They're in the same division, the middleweight division. Jack Hermanson and Jared Cannonier actually fought each other before. Jack Hermanson has lost, I think 2 out of his last 6. So he definitely needs this tomorrow night, and I think that he can get it done versus Sean Strickland. All right. I think it's time to move on. There's not much to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen. I do not have any singles of the week for you. However, we do have a lot of album drops to talk about. January 14th happened, ladies and gentlemen. Token's album finally came out. Pink is Better. Really good album. I'm going to level with you. Not as good as I thought it was going to be. Not as good as I thought it was going to be. I love Token. I do.
Don't say.
And when I was listening to the singles he was dropping, it was a different side of Token. But as I really listened to the album, some of the songs fucking fantastic, but I found the majority kind of sounded very similar to each other. And a lot of the content was very redundant. A lot of the same, topics being brought up over and over. But nevertheless, definitely the wait, I think, was worth it because these beats are fucking amazing.
Oh,
so
really?
all the whole clearance, of getting through these samples and having to wait. It was supposed to come out in October. The reason why it got pushed back was because all the samples getting cleared. But I'm glad he waited because these beats are fucking amazing. I will say that. Some of these beats I just replay for the beat, but that doesn't, that doesn't bode too well with me being a fan of the lyrics. And Token, I think could have brought
it a little better.
I think he left a little to be desired on the album. But let's talk about from a bird's eye view. I'm not going to talk about it too much here, but Corday's album also dropped that same day from a bird's eye view. I actually reacted to the whole album. What a fucking album. I am going to be giving you guys my full review and my thoughts on it, but I will say what a great sophomore album. It gave a really different side of Corday, and it was really awesome to fucking see. I was very excited for the features on this album. Everybody who featured on this album, never mind. I was going to say everybody who featured on this album did their fucking thing, but there is a couple that definitely I think were the reason why I don't listen to the songs to those songs anymore.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so there's a couple on there that were but what a great fucking album from Corday. Really great job, Corday. And then we had Sorry for the Wait by Lil Wayne coming on streaming platforms. For those who don't know, almost 10 years ago, Sorry for the Wait dropped because nobody was getting Carter 5. And so he dropped Sorry for the Wait. And ever since then, whenever streaming platforms became a thing and available, his mixtapes like, No Ceilings and then his Sorry for the Waits, those obviously couldn't get cleared because they were other people's raps and shit. And so it was mixtape type shit. This one finally got cleared. Every song got cleared. All 12 songs are cleared. They're finally here for you guys to enjoy and listen to. I've been re-listening to them and it's bringing back memories like a motherfucker. But there's also 4 new songs that he put on there as well. So
really,
that
you don't say. So
that has been
I have to ask. The Funeral. Is it like an extension? No. Old school? Oh, maybe. Really?
Well,
you don't say.
Well, Dirty. 12 of these songs are from 10 years ago. 12 of these are 10 years old.
Right. No, I've listened to that.
But the 4 sound just like the other 12. And that's why it's fucking bomb, because he dipped back into that mixtape State of Mind, Wayne, where it was punch after punch after punch after punch, and it wasn't
layered and everything too.
Yeah, and it wasn't reaching as like on The Funeral, and some of his features as of late, the bars have been a little bit reachy for me, where it's like, I guess that connects, right? It's more of the Wayne where you're just like, how the fuck did he think about that? And it makes you giggle. That Wayne. That's the Wayne that I love.
I missed that Wayne. Yeah.
So really fucking great. You guys go listen to Sorry for the Wait and hear the new tracks.
And when I say I missed that way, I got to clarify, because every time I say something like that, somebody goes, "Oh, is it because this whatever?" Yeah. Anyway, it's stuff I deal with all the time.
Dot connectors.
Yeah.
They're just connecting the wrong lines to the right dots.
Yeah, or wrong.
And then
dots.
we had another album dropped by King ISO, Strange Music, Tech Nine's artist King ISO. We dropped his album. I have not even heard one track from this yet, so I will be listening to this. This just dropped last Friday. So Get Well Soon by King ISO. That's all. It's a lot of fucking music, guys. A lot of fucking music. I know Joyner Lucas has been killing it lately, dropping singles after singles. And of course, these new rappers, Corday has been killing it lately. DaBaby has been dropping like a fucking mad.
Corday is getting a lot of attention too, man.
Yeah. Hey, how about I don't know. I want to talk
as
about
far
this
as
real
like
quick.
Talk goes.
Yeah. The buzz for Corday is huge in hip hop right now. He was doing an interview and they were talking about, how it was to be on a track with M, because he did the Parables remix on his album, but he also did Eminem's Killer remix at the beginning of this year, where Eminem released his remix to Killer, and Corday and Jack Harlow were on that remix. Yeah. So 2510 or no.
What's that on?
510. He released it as a single.
Oh, that's probably
at the very beginning of this.
Then.
Oh my gosh. No, you've heard Killer because it was on Music to Be Murdered By. So you've heard the actual song. I'm a killer, dum dum, dum dum, killer. No? Now count at 510. Yeah, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh my God.
Get the money.
Yeah. Okay.
In the furnace. Yeah. Okay. So they did a remix.
Keeping it real. I sorry to interrupt you, but I was just talking to my son about this. He came down for Christmas. Yeah. And I was just talking about this, and he's a big M fan. He had never listened to Music to Be Murdered By. And I said, dude, it's a great album, man. I said, you should listen to it. But as I was talking to him, I had realized I haven't listened to that myself in probably 6 months. So,
and you did them separately because you did Music to Be Murdered By, and then you did side B where you only did those newer tracks. Right. Yeah. So you did them separately because he released them a year apart. So it's probably real foggy, right? But it's a 2-disc album. But so they did a remix to Killer, okay, and it just released as a single at the beginning of this year. It had Jack Harlow to open it up. Corday was on the second verse, and then Eminem did a completely different third verse and just fucking killed. I mean, he fucking murdered it. But so something really interesting. Corday was talking, and he said, it's actually really funny. M called me and said, after I gave him my verse for Killer, he called me and said, hey, I'm gonna need you to redo this. I need you to be like more lyrical. I need you to be like rap on it. And Corday was like, that's the first time anybody has ever asked me to redo a verse because it wasn't like
good enough.
Wow. He said, I've done that before. He said, I've done that to artists before, because if you're going to be on my album, I need it to be the best that I think it's going to be. So I will say that in a heartbeat, but I've never been told that before.
Right.
And I tried to like throw excuses at him, and I tried to be like, well, yeah, it was a vibey type track. So I was just trying to give you that. And he's like, no. I want rap. I want you to attack it. I want you to attack this beat. And so Corday's like, okay. So I changed the verse and I sent it back. Love it. I was like, okay. So I thought that was very fucking interesting.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
M has done this thing where he kind of tests these young artists. You know, I don't, if you've heard the popular story about Kendrick Lamar and his first time meeting Eminem. So Kendrick Lamar did a song with Eminem for Eminem's album Marshall Mathers LP2, where they did Love Game. Okay. And in that, you flipped for that song when you heard it. You reacted to the album, you flipped on that song. It was like the game show one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he said that M called me to the studio one night and was like, hey, I want you to jump on this track. Can you do the hook for me? So I was like, yeah, I could do, you know, so I slide there with my people. I go there, we do the hook, boom, boom. I'm all done. I'm about to write out. And he's like, hey, do you want to do a verse on this? And I was like, do I want to do it? Fuck yeah, I want to do a verse on this. And M said, okay, cool. You out. Everybody get out. And he's like, oh, so it was just you and M? And he's like, no, he left too. It was just me in the room. And I think he just wanted to make sure that I was writing the bars that I was spitting. That was a test for me because he knew that I had no idea I was going to write a verse for him that day. He knew I had no idea I was going to feature on a song with him that day. He called me up, was like, hey, do you want to be on the hook for me? So that's all I thought it was. There was
no escape for him.
Exactly. That was it. And M was testing him as in, okay, wow. I'm going to see if you're really about what I hear. Right. So I'm gonna lock you in a room, you write your verse, and then we're going to see. And that's how the song came together. So he's done this before. How fucking awesome, man. I think that's so fucking dope to do that. And
I also got to say, you have to be so well respected to pull something like that off because, you know, look at Corday, for example. I mean, he is the talk of the fucking planet right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And M goes to him and says, not good enough.
I need you to redo this.
I need you to fix this unit. It's not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
there's some artists that said that he's done that to them before.
Isn't that like the equivalent of say, Jorge Masvidal going to Kamaru Usman and saying, need you to work on this.
Yeah.
Need you to work on your ground game.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah, little.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine what Kamaru Usman would say to him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, Nikki has talked about that too. She did a song Roman's Revenge for her Pink Friday album. And she was talking about how she was trying to get Eminem on her album for a long time. And she kept sending him beats and he kept sending her back. Nah, I don't think this is for me. Nah, I don't think this is for me. She's like, until finally I sent him this really crazy unorthodox beat. And it was in like a pack of 3 of them. And he's like, oh yeah, that one. I want that one. And I was like, really? This one? Like, this is the one you want? Like, he's like,
then I gotta tell you. I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
She's like, and I sent it to him and he sent it back like, no, I don't think this is me. And she's like, so I changed all my lyrics on that beat and I sent it back to him and he's like, love it. I'm in. So she's like, I changed my own shit for my own album so that he could be on it with me. So it was really fucking dope.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, good.
That's all I had for music, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I had. Do you have anything else?
That's all we got, buddy.
Dirty D. That is it. We are done for this week.
But we're glad to
ladies
be back,
and gentlemen.
And
very glad to be back.
Yeah.
Smash that bitch. Smash that bitch. Oh, give you guys a heads up. Unfortunately, and this is news to Dirty D, actually. We will not be here next week for next week's pod. It's going to be my little boy's birthday, so I'm going to be a little tied up next week.
Okay. Then I've got something that will be in place of this.
Beautiful.
Something I've been thinking about putting together here. So
Dirty's going to take care of you lovely folks.
We'll get some content up there regardless. So,
all right. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below. Smash that bitch. Peace out.
Peace.